Hey, good morning, y'all. Yes, sir, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works. And you and I are going to live a long life. I'm going to mess up some people's minds here today, but we're going to study this for a couple of days. Psalm 91, verse 16. We've been in Psalm 91 for the last week or two. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Long life. Well, how long is long? Well, for me, at least 120 years, maybe 200 years. Oh, brother, you can't say that. Oh, yes, you can, because I'm going to be snared by my words. Watch this. With long life, I'll be satisfied. That means I'll be healthy, I'll be restored, I'll be completed, and with long life, God will satisfy me. Somebody says, yeah, but you can't prove that. Oh, yes, I can. Let me read this to you out of Ephesians chapter 6. Man, this is so good. Verse 1 through 3. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. That's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1 through 3. You need to write these scriptures down. I'd be glad to give them to you if you'll ask for them. But watch this. It says that's the first promise of God that has something to go with it. It says, honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. Now watch this, that it may be well with thee. Now, I'm going to just tell you something about Pat. She honored her father and mother totally. So therefore, it's going to be well with her all the days of her long life. Now, I honored my father and mother, but not quite as much as Pat did. But watch this. Honor thy father and mother, that it may be well with thee. And, I like that word and. That means this first part doesn't stand without the second part. That it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest live long on the earth. So we're going to have a long life. I'm just telling you what the word says about a long life. Proverbs chapter 3, 1 and 2. My son, I'm reading right out of the Bible, wrote it out here. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. Watch. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. So you have a right to long life. Oh, well, now, brother, I just thought that the Bible said, that, well, there's appointed once for man to die. Yeah, it does say that. That don't mean you got a date out there that you're going to die on. It means you're only going to die once. I mean, these things are so simple when you just read the Bible. Genesis chapter 6, verse 3 says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. God said, my days can be at least 120 years, and so should yours be. And somebody says, well, the Bible only promises you 70 years. No, that's for the stiff-necked, hard-hearted people that's not following after God. The Bible promises you a long life. Now watch this. These are the days and the years of Abraham. I'm going to say something here that's going to get some of you. Watch this. These are the days and the years of Abraham's life, which he lived 160 years. That's 175 years old. And I am under the seed of Abraham and have even got a better covenant. Now watch. 175 years. Then Abraham gave up the ghost, died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. 175 years old, Abraham, and we're under a better covenant. Now somebody said, well, we know Father Abraham, his body was dead. Sarah, her body was dead. They'd never had any children, and yet they had the promise of God that he would be the father of many nations. They believed against natural hope. And God restored Sarah's body and Abraham's body, where the Bible says, and Abraham's body now dead when he was about 100 years old. So God had to work a miracle to restore her body back to its youth and his body, which was dead, back to his youth. And let me just say this to you. That simply meant that they weren't able to get it on anymore, and so they couldn't have any children. But God's covenant is so much better than Viagra, because after Abraham gave birth to Isaac and Jacob, and that generation, after Sarah went to be with the Lord, Abraham birthed 4 more children. So when God does a restoration, it's complete. It's well done. And he lived to be 175, and you and I have a better covenant, which is established on better promises. Now watch. I want you to get this. Joshua chapter 34, verse 7. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, and his natural strength or his natural forces abated not. Well, then how are we going to die if we don't die sick? Give up the ghost. You see, maybe I can do this. We sent men to the moon. They had spacesuits that they got out of their little capsule with to be on the moon. That spacesuit was designed to keep them alive in that atmosphere, in that set of circumstances. When they came back, they took the spacesuits off and hung them on the wall. The spacesuit didn't blow up and send them out. They left it and hung the spacesuits up, and they're still in a museum somewhere for you to go look at it. Hey, look, this is my spacesuit. I got to have this to live in this environment. I got to have this. But I'm not going to let it blow up and make me leave. I'm going to leave, and y'all can hang this one up in a museum if you want to. The oldest man that's ever lived. I don't care what you do with it. This is the thing that I have to live here on this earth. And when I leave, I don't have to leave with it all decrepit and broken and wore out. Now listen, Moses was 120. His eyes grew not dim, and his natural strength didn't abate. And I'm under a better covenant. Live a long life. I'll get into this tomorrow. But you have a right to live a long life. The choice is yours. Yes, it's appointed once for you to die, not 2 times and 4 times and 5 times, but there's not some day out there, when you're 59, God's got it planned out for you. Oh, no. You have a choice. We'll look at that tomorrow. So until I'm with you tomorrow, hey, live a long life. Enjoy the blessings of God. Be fully satisfied. Remember, Jesus is your Lord. Thank God the word works.